least, our last session for today we're going to move on to is probably one of the most valuable sessions throughout our morning in terms of next steps and resources available to you. We started out the morning by giving you the background information necessary to understand what's required of you related to CMMC and the requirements that are coming down the pipeline. Gave you some boots on the ground understanding of some of the key challenges, shifted to workforce, and now we're going to wrap up today's session with resources available to assist small to medium-sized businesses on your path to certification. So first up, we have Stephanie Ludwig. Stephanie is our project manager for the Defense Cybersecurity Assurance Program. So she is the one in the trenches working day to day with companies in getting them on their path to compliance through DCAP. Stephanie also has put together all of today's seminars, so I cannot thank her enough for her time and her commitment to pulling today's session of speakers together and moving from in-person to virtually so quickly. So Stephanie's going to start off by telling you all a little bit more about DCAP.
Thank you, Ashley. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. All right, so you may have been wondering why or how the University of Michigan became involved in cybersecurity. So back in the 2012-2013 timeframe, the forecasters at the Economic Growth Institute foresaw that the downturn of defense spending from sequestration was going to significantly impact small to medium-sized businesses and the defense supply chain. So they explained that impact to the Department of Defense, which resulted in Department of Defense funding for what was then known as DMAP, the Defense Manufacturing Assistance Program. That helped companies throughout Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana to stay strong when defense spending was down. Our consultants helped many companies to diversify and keep their businesses strong and vibrant so that when spending was back up, the defense supply chain would still be strong. But at the end of that program, we saw that there was a new core business need arising from these defense contractors. The Department of Defense had implemented DFAR requirements, that DFAR 254-202-712, that was requiring companies that handled CUI to be compliant with NIST 800-171 by the end of December 2017, which you guys have all heard about today and in Katie's presentation. And we knew that these companies would need assistance. So at that time, we worked again with the Department of Defense to receive additional wave of funding, which is now known as DCAP, the Defense Cybersecurity Assurance Program. So the goal of this program was to get as many defense suppliers to be compliant with the DFARS as possible. Many of these companies that we worked with were low-tier suppliers, often in rural areas that were unaware of the DFAR requirements, that they would apply to them, and therefore really hadn't taken any actions towards securing CUI. So at that time, our team educated over 2,000 companies and individuals in the defense supply chain about those cybersecurity requirements that were impacting defense companies. This was a cost-share program where, depending on if your company was classified as rural, the university covered up to 50 to 80% of the total project cost. And by reducing the cost of implementation, this project ensured that CUI would be protected by smaller companies that really face thin margins and competing priorities. Through survey data submitted at the end by the companies that we served, we found that without the support of DCAP, at least 40% of the companies would not have completed the DFARS compliance project or would have been significantly delayed with this implementation, which weakens this critical portion of the defense supply chain. Okay, so how does, oh, hang on, one slide too many. So how did a company qualify to be eligible for this program? So the company had to have operations in Michigan, Ohio, or Indiana. We have partners with Ohio State University and Purdue that will assist in the various states. They had to be a small to medium-sized company, which we defined as less than 500 employees. They need to be earning at least 10% annually of their business revenues from Department of Defense contract, and that can be at any level of the supply chain, and that's within the past 5 years or currently with current contracts. And we did have a little caveat in there that if they had a critical potential to address a particular need, that we could potentially qualify them for our program. Let me walk you through what our process looks like. So we start with an application that includes the last 2 years of financials. The reason we ask for those financials is that we want to make sure that we are utilizing federal funding on companies that are strong and not going to be going away tomorrow. So once you are accepted into the program, we then schedule, or we did before COVID, an on-site visit so that we can complete a brief cyber assessment and to get to know your company better so that we can draft the request for proposals. Today, we are doing that virtually so that we can continue with our program, but be mindful of the stay home, stay safe. So once we have the request for proposal, we send that out to our vetted consultants, and when they are returned, we review them and work together to determine which consultant best meets your needs. Typically, our consultants have a 3-part process. They start with a gap assessment to determine where you stand in relationship to compliance and what gaps need to be addressed. Phase 2 is remediation. The consultant will assist in the remediation process, which usually is getting documentation in place. This is the longest part of the process, and really it just depends on your capacity to assist in resolving any of those gaps and issues that need to be addressed. Finally, the consultant will verify that you have met those compliance requirements and give you a document to say, yep, you're good, you should be ready for an audit. So typically this process takes about 2 to 3 months depending on the client's capacity to address the remediation portion. And in DCAP 1, a typical project costs about $8,300, and the cost share split on average was about $3,400 for the company to get that compliance. So what is DCAP 2.0? So at the end of that grant, there were still many companies that needed assistance with reaching compliance. So in September of 2019, our institute received another round of funding to assist with this mission. However, this round has a little bit extra nuances that I'll talk about next. So we still have compliance projects just like we did in DCAP 1. We are assisting companies to become compliant with DFARS and now the additional controls that are identified in CMMC. There is some funding available, but it is going fast, so please reach out to me if you'd like more information on how you can qualify for and apply for those compliance projects. In addition, we're doing these educational seminars, which you are attending today. This is the 3rd of 5 we had initially planned across the state of Michigan. You can see what we had on the screen. We had some other dates, and we hope to do some more in the fall. One in Traverse City, which will be to be determined, and hopefully maybe some other areas as well as we get more information on this whole certification process. And the goal of these are to educate the defense supply chain with these new requirements. You can find more information on upcoming events on our website. In addition, we are doing workforce needs focus groups. As you just learned in the last presentation, we are seeking individuals that would be willing to participate in a small focus group to assist us with identifying these workforce gaps. And again, it will, there'll be a spot in the survey you'll receive today or tomorrow, or you can go on our website if you are interested in participating in that. And then the last portion of this grant is that we are doing some supply chain mapping. So in order to keep the supply chain strong, we are mapping cyber providers across Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana that can provide products and services to assist small to mediums with their cybersecurity needs. And we're also mapping any new technologies that are being developed in universities across the 3 states that are related to defense cybersecurity. If you would like to have your company added to this list, you can do so by going to our website and entering your information there directly, or you can also reach out to me and I can take that information as well. So that is all I have, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.
Great, Stephanie, thank you. As she mentioned, funding is still available, likely just for limited times here in terms of helping your companies directly with compliance projects. So make sure you reach out to Stephanie here soon. It's first come, first serve. And we're expecting within the next couple months, if not weeks, for that funding to run dry. So we encourage you to reach out here soon. Next up, another great partner of Jeff Williams. Jeff leads the team at the center, or the Michigan Manufacturing Technology Center, MMTC as it is known as, and his efforts to educate small to medium-sized manufacturers to guard against the growing threat of cyber attacks. MMTC is running a national program, and Jeff's gonna tell you about a lot of their activity here now.
Great, good morning. Go ahead and go to the next slide, please. One more. So first of all, Michigan Manufacturing Technology Center is what is referred to as a Manufacturing Extension Partnership, or MEP center. This is a program that's actually sponsored by NIST, the National Institutes of Standards and Technology. There is one MEP in every state in the US, including Puerto Rico. So we do have a national presence overall. In addition to that, the Michigan Manufacturing Technology Center is also partnered with SBDC, who provides a local Michigan presence for us. And our primary goal overall, and the primary goal of the MEP program, is to help small to mid-sized manufacturers with pretty much whatever they need, be it growth, be it securing jobs, be it cyber, etc. Next slide, please. So the Michigan Manufacturing Technology Center, or the center, we are a statewide network. We have several regional offices. We are primarily headquartered in Plymouth, down there in the red section, but we do have offices all over, including up in the UP in the Marquette office. So there is a local contact, a local phone number for whatever area you currently are in or looking for assistance. Or you can always contact the Plymouth office itself, and we'll be able to direct to the most appropriate. I head the cyber program for the state as a whole. So cyber-related issues will, generally speaking, almost always be directed over to myself, and we can discuss whatever may be of interest or concern in that avenue. Next slide, please. But with that in mind, some of the services that we do offer, obviously you can see cybersecurity is one of the first and foremost ones there. But we do also, as I mentioned, primarily deal with anything related to helping small to mid-sized manufacturers grow, be it growth, be it leadership, be it skills, be it traditional lean or quality. All different aspects related to that is what we do primarily. But seeing as how we're here to talk primarily about cyber today, go ahead and go to the next slide, please. We do have the realization, and as well as the DoD and everyone on this call, that when it comes to cyber, especially within the supply chain and especially within the DoD, the smaller size company that you are, or the farther down in the tiers that you are, overall, companies have a smaller built-in capability. Maybe they use contract IT, maybe they have no IT, whatever the capabilities that are, but conversely, their overall exposure to risk goes up. Small companies, or these tier 4s, have the highest risk, primarily because they don't have a lot of internal capability to help deal with the cyber. But as the DoD is concerned, and as we're all concerned, they have the same amount of information that some of the larger companies or the larger tiers have. So as part of that, we realized that cyber was definitely going to be a concern. Next slide, please. So we also realized throughout that the fact that as systems become more and more complicated, as our lives become more and more complicated, the cyber risks in themselves grow. And as a smaller company or as any company, a lot of times we don't even realize where our information or where our security is at risk. And so as part of that as well, we wanted to make sure that we had the capability of assisting companies no matter what size they were, no matter what those avenues were. Next slide, please. So with that in mind, we at the center do have a fairly robust cyber program. We cover avenues anywhere from basic cybersecurity concerns, dealing with identification of risks, dealing with methodologies of improving your risk. We have specific related cyber programs, especially in the avenue of the Department of Defense, dealing with DFARS compliancy, helping with NIST 800-171 assessments, helping with implement overall risk management for within those, as well as now expanding into the avenues of CMMC itself. Outside of that, we also deal with general risk management as it deals primarily with information security, protecting your information, protecting your business assets. All of these, though, various avenues that we have that deal with cyber or how we can assist customers. Next slide, please. Deals primarily with the same or a very similar five-step approach that we use when we work with companies. So first and foremost, we help them to identify the actual information that they have and understand why it's important. In the case of DoD, that very well could be helping companies to identify what they have that is truly CUI or CDI, why it's classified as that, and why their prime and or higher tier says that they need to protect that by the DFARS clauses. We help them to document and assess their current methods, their current business practices and procedures to identify what they currently are doing correctly in line with things like 800-171, which one of those actually match with what the requirements overall are. Then we help assess that current practices and procedures against various industry standards and requirements. In the case of DoD, those requirements are very clear in 800-171. So by comparing what you currently are doing with what the requirements are, helps us to build an overall assessment or initial gap analysis, as well as a method of moving forward to identify what needs to be done. And in regards to that, then the next step is obviously to help improve overall security. And that usually focuses more on current demands. Why are you utilizing this? In the case of DFARS, obviously you have contractual requirements. Or CMMC certification levels that you may need to or want to obtain, or maybe just generally interested in improving overall company cyber stance. All the rest of those steps help to identify the best course of action. And then finally, through the business process analysis, through the education, through the overall improvements, the most important thing is to be able to come up with a system and an understanding that can be adaptable because future threats are always changing. CMMC requirements or DoD requirements are consistently evolving. And what we put in place or what we assist you in putting in place today, we want to make sure is flexible enough that you don't have to start over every time the requirements change. So that basic five-step approach or basic five-step identification really works no matter what the concept is. If it's DoD based, if it's risk analysis based, or if it's just a general cyber hygiene, the same five steps are utilized in order to assist you. Projects obviously vary from size and sophistication level depending on the requirements, depending on the company. But obviously we help to tailor those specific projects based off of the specific requirements of that company. Next slide, please. So just some basic contact information where you can find out more about the center. Best way is from our website, www.thecenter.org. Obviously, you can also contact us directly by phone or by email, and we'd love to be able to assist you with whatever your cyber needs are. That's it. Thank you.
And Scott's going to talk to you about what the SBDC is offering. Definitely pay attention here. He's got some really good resources that are coming out now and evolving here to meet your needs. So Scott, whenever you are ready, go ahead and take it away.
All right. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And definitely a big thanks to all the great speakers this morning. It's always fantastic getting to sit in on these. And every time you listen to it, you end up learning something new. All right. So as introduced, I'm Scott Tabor. I'm from the Michigan Small Business Development Center. Could you go to our next slide? All right, so I'm the cybersecurity awareness specialist with the Lead Center of as I said, of the Michigan Small Business Development Center. The Lead Center office is hosted by Grand Valley State University's Seton College of Business in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We are a statewide network, and as you can see on this map, the Michigan SBDC operates in every Michigan county with 10 different host institutions and satellite offices throughout the whole state. So we're really, wherever you are, we are close by and we can help. We are a Michigan network of SBDC offices funded primarily by the U.S. Small Business Administration and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, with additional support from network partners in each of our regions, as you can see on the map here. Let's move on to the next slide. The Michigan SBDC, we work with startups, existing businesses, businesses that are looking to grow, advanced technology businesses. So really, it doesn't matter which category you fit into. We are here to assist you and help you achieve what you want to achieve with your small business. Let's move on to the next slide. All right, there we go. All right, so what are our services? Well, we have highly experienced consultants all across the state, and we have trainers who are ready to deliver our no-cost one-on-one business consulting. That is really the heart of what we do, is the business consulting. We also offer business education and training, so we do weekly webinars, in-person training events once we're allowed to start those up again. Obviously, with the current situation, the in-person events have been put on hold for now, but I know we will be looking forward to getting back on the road and seeing our great citizens throughout the state of Michigan face-to-face again, hopefully in the somewhat near future. We also have information-based planning through secondary market research. So all the market research that maybe you can't afford because it's cost thousands upon thousands of dollars to sign up for the different applications, the different programs, the different websites that can help accumulate all this data for you. We have the ability to assist with that and get that information to you. And also we have a specialized advanced technology commercialization assistance. And so that's a big long phrase to say if you have some groundbreaking technology, something that's going to come in and change the market, we have experts who are able to assist you with that as well. Let's move to the next slide. We offer these services by having great teams all throughout the state and who are experts really in their respective fields. Our small business team or our core team, who most of our clients will end up working with. The business growth team, experts in assisting small businesses looking to really get to that next level of business. The export assistance team. So if you are looking to get into a foreign market outside of the United States, whether it's Canada or Mexico or somewhere in Europe, we have experts who are able to assist and help you do research and help you along the lines of figuring out becoming an exporter. And then also our technology assistance team, as I mentioned, if you have a technology that can end up changing the market, we have experts who can help you focus with that and are definitely fantastic at what they do. So some of our clients will end up working with multiple team members to address all their needs, but chances are you'll start off with a core team member to assess your needs and to make sure that we can help you. All right, let's go on to the next slide. All right, so I did mention we offer a business education program, and it comes really most of the time at no cost and sometimes at low cost. It's available right now online and typically also in person, as I mentioned, throughout the whole state. So we really offer webinars right now, and one thing that we really are doing as well as our on-demand webinars. So any of the webinars that we record, we then post online that people can sign up for to attend an on-demand version of the webinar if you aren't able to make the recording of it. You know, so that's a fantastic thing. Or if you want a refresher on a topic, it's easier to do that. Hey, it's midnight. You know, you can't sleep. Pick up the on-demand webinar. You can learn more about these offerings at sbdcmichigan.org/training or by contacting your local regional office. Our business education workshops cover a wide range of topics, from starting your first business, writing a business plan, to government contracting, which is one reason why we're here right now, to business legal, internet and social media for marketing purposes, cybersecurity, which is my expertise field, and we offer many more other education topics as well. Again, you can learn more about these at sbdcmichigan.org. Let's go on to our next slide. All right, so here's now getting towards the stuff that's more part of my expertise in the cybersecurity world. We have a fantastic website called smallbusinessbigthreat.com. It is our cybersecurity program here at the Michigan SBDC. It's where I focus almost all of my time exclusively in raising awareness, offering education on different cybersecurity trends, threats, steps small businesses can take to help protect their data, to protect their customers, and to protect their employees. I highly encourage everyone to check out smallbusinessbigthreat.com and to take our Cybersecurity 101 learning assessment. It's a highly interactive assessment with voice actors based in a comic book type setting. It's a learning assessment that focuses on 8 different common cybersecurity threats, ranging from computer systems to data breaches to international business to passwords to financial transactions. So we cover a good amount of different cybersecurity topics in it. Let's move on to the next slide. All right, you can also sign up for our monthly newsletter right on the front page of smallbusinessbigthreat.com. So usually 1 to 3 minute long reads of different current threats, current trends, things that we're seeing reported in the news. Right now, obviously, I think a lot of it is COVID-19 related, the increase in different scams that we're seeing, trying to keep everyone up to speed on what the scams are looking like and how to protect yourselves from them. But definitely, I would encourage everyone to sign up for our newsletter as well. So that's a great thing to check out. Next slide. So once you've taken the assessment and signed up for a newsletter, if you keep scrolling down that main page, you can then go to our Access Resources page, where we have different white papers, different links to other great partners in the cybersecurity industry. Once we start our in-depth training again, we will have you'll have the ability to sign up for our in-depth cybersecurity training, both webinars and in-person events right there as well. And then you can also meet our wonderful partners. Let's go to our final slide. So I want to say thank you again for everyone. It's still morning, so thank you for coming again this morning, letting me talk for a few minutes here. To get a hold of me, I have my email address listed here. It's the quickest and best way to get a hold of me. It's tabers@gbsu.edu. And if you are interested in signing up for any of our small business consulting, go to sbdcmichigan.org. We'll find then go find the region where you are, and then you can submit a request for consulting all through the website. It's simple and easy and quick to do. If you had obviously any questions that are cybersecurity related, send them my way. I'm very happy to help with that and to really and help you find focus and guidance for where you need to go. But we also, as said, we also offer a great many other services here at the SBDC in Michigan for small businesses, for wherever you are. If you're just starting it up, or you've been in business for 20 years, we are very happy to help.
Okay. Before we wrap up today, we have one more presenter. And I would like to say a special thank you to both of the regional PTACs and also the Jackson Area Manufacturers Association. They were all extremely important in putting on today's seminar, marketing it out to you as ecosystem partners and clients of theirs to make you aware of today's session. So I cannot thank all of them enough. in terms of their assistance in organizing today's seminar. So thank you all. And last but not least, here we have Mike is a program manager with the PTAC of South Central Michigan, and Mike is going to tell us more about what the PTAC has to offer. Many of you work with them already, but as you heard from Katie's presentation, their role and responsibility with CMMC is quickly evolving and changing, I think, every time we hear presentations given by DoD. So Mike's going to give us an update here about what the PTAC has to offer and how you can utilize them as a support resource.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Again, I'm Mike Hindenaw with the PTAC of South Central Michigan. My geography includes Eaton, Clinton, Ingham, Jackson, Lenawee, and Hillsdale counties. If you are not in those counties, we have an organization, the PTACs of Michigan, and I urge you to go to that website and find out who represents you, because if you're going to be doing governmental contracting, be it federal, state, or local levels, I would urge you to work with your local PTACs, because they're there to provide services to help you basically be prepared to compete for government contracts. That's what we do. Next slide, please. So some of the first things that we do is, if you're looking to work with the state of Michigan, we strive to get you signed up in SIGMA, because that's what registration you need to do business with the state of Michigan. SAM, the System of Award Management, they handle the federal contracting aspects. And I can't stress the importance of being registered, because you're not going to be doing business with these government entities if you're not registered to do business with them. So we can assist with this. Some companies do it on their own, but we believe that we bring you there faster and more efficiently if you bring us along. So we do that. The other sorts of registrations we're known to do or to assist with are some of the designation registrations, like if you're a veteran-owned business, or if you're a woman-owned small business, or if you're a registered small business. We also are willing to help make sure that you are registered as that type of entity, because it does afford some benefits when trying to do especially federal contracting. Next slide, please. Also important into what our services are, we provide a variety of counseling services. We do this through one-on-one counseling. We also do training events, seminars, and especially of late, we've been doing webinars. But basically, we're there to help you with whatever aspect it is, whether it's reading solicitations, whether it's writing your submissions and helping you prepare for those, whether it's subcontracting assistance. All of those things are there. We also do counseling with like SBIR and STTR programs. So whatever your government contracting issue is, we will assist and counsel to get you through the challenges you're facing. Next slide, please. And I think the biggest bang for our buck that we provide is the bid match services. What we do is we work with you to develop a profile, whether it's through your NAICS codes, your product service codes, or keywords. What will happen is, if you sign up for the bid match service, we will have an automated process that will email you appropriate solicitations. Now, please understand there's some art and science involved with this. And what we usually will ask once people get started in it is to hold some really good solicitations that you like and some bad ones that you don't, because those help us pare down on what we need to be focusing on. But it goes out, it looks at FedBizOps, it looks at BetaSAM, it looks at the DLA bulletin boards, all the other agencies that are doing that. And it allows for both prime and subcontracts. So what we're really trying to do is efficiently get you the solicitations in the government that are effective for you, so that you can compete for those and not get weighed in by just the massive amounts of solicitations that are out there. Next slide, please. And one thing we happily do, because we get phone calls from people who really aren't sure what PTACs do and whether we're the right answer for them. So we have a huge network for referrals, and you've heard from a lot of our partners earlier today, but we're constantly referring people to SBA, SBDC, SCORE. It's just a matter of what their need is. We've done referrals for people looking to do exporting. Again, we may not be your source. Our scope is very limited to doing contract with government. However, you know, sometimes we just get those questions that aren't us, but we do try to get you where you need to be, or at least another link in the chain closer so that you can go find out what your needs are. Please change slides. Okay, there's just a couple of things I'm going to add, but I will not be long. We're here because of the CMMC and the importance of it, and I can't overstress the importance of this. It's one of those programs that, first of all, you won't be doing contracting if you're not registered and certified with this. So on that aspect alone, it's very important. But the other thing is it's kind of a breath of fresh air in the sense that this is a recognition that not every company that does contracts with the federal government needs to have Lockheed Martin security. So this allows for companies that are smaller to really define just how much security you need to be doing business with the federal government. And I hope that rings true. The other thing that I'm going to say is most of this you should already be doing. And that's the thing, is it can feel scary, but the bottom line is you're probably doing 75 to 80% of what needs to be done already. I guess on that note, I'm going to turn it back to Stephanie for our closing remarks, but I wish you all a good day.
Great, thank you, Mike. We really appreciate your time and connecting companies in your area to the seminar today and supporting them in the future. So thank you again. So as we wrap up today, we are running right on time here with our planned schedule. I just wanted to remind everyone of a couple quick things. In follow-up today, you will receive a short survey to give us feedback on the seminar. We appreciate any feedback you can provide us. As Stephanie mentioned, we will be doing additional seminars. Hopefully the next ones will be in person, late summer, early fall. So keep checking back to our website and stay in connection with the DCAP team to learn about more upcoming events. In addition to the survey, you'll also receive a recording of today's seminar and a resource guide to be able to connect with all the partners that you learned about today. On the survey and also on our website, again, is your opportunity to volunteer for the workforce focus groups. We want your voice to be heard so that resources can be developed at the state and national level to help address those needs. So please take the hour or two out of your time here over the next couple months to give us your feedback there. We really appreciate it. And a big thank you to all of our partners again and everyone that put time and commitment in today's seminar. We look forward to hopefully meeting all of you in person someday, and if not, connecting with you virtually. And we hope you have a great afternoon and the rest of your week. Thank you.